Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to, so this card just flew out, so I'm actually going to put it aside here, and we'll read this, we'll read that maybe after or before I start the actual reading. So I just want to say welcome. I'm so excited to read for you. I'm going to be doing a tarot card reading for the week ahead, and my intention, as always, is to get a general overview of the energies and the themes of the upcoming week. So if you're new here, welcome. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment if you feel called to. Okay, so this week's reading, I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss by Tourain. This is actually a really cool deck. I love reading this deck. And I'm going to start with the card that flew out of the deck when I was shuffling. So whenever that happens, when I'm shuffling and a card just flies out, I always include that card in the reading. And I feel like that card has special precedence over all the other cards because this is the card that the deck literally spit out as I was shuffling. It's like, okay, you got to include this one. This is important. So we have the Star, which is great because I absolutely adore this card. This is probably my favorite card. I also love the High Priestess and the Hermit, but the Star is definitely up there. Now, the Star is a major arcana card, and typically when I read this card, I talk about like finding a sense of connection to the all and feeling like, connected to the universe and acknowledging that you are an important part of everything. We all have a place in the universe. We're all a part of things. Even if we feel like we don't belong, we do belong because we're here. So just by virtue of the fact that we exist means that we belong, even if we don't necessarily feel that sense of belonging. And I also taught when I read the Star, I often emphasize the need to kind of let go and relax and just kind of trust in the process of things. And I always say the phrase, everything is working out in the way that it needs to. Maybe not in the way that you want it to or the way that you've planned, but everything is unfolding in the way that it needs to unfold. So all of that stuff applies here. But as I look at this card, this Star card is a little different. I'm really drawn to the girl on the card, how she's looking up at this one star and she's reaching for it. And I feel like there's a sense of yearning, and it's this yearning for connection to something brighter and bigger than yourself. This yearning for this connection to something otherworldly, something magical and maybe mystical. And I think that everyone who watches this video, myself included, we're all kind of gripped by this from time to time, but you might feel yourself lately that this is something that's been gripping you and kind of popping up for you is this sense of yearning. You're like yearning for this sense of connection or yearning for that sense of magic and spark. And that's the message I get with this card. And now the reading, I think, in addition to being kind of an overview of the week ahead, I think the reading is going to speak to this yearning that we have. So I will tie this card in with the other cards, but I'm just going to put it aside. Let's begin with the first card, Strength. All right. So this is the card for the beginning of the week. So Monday, Tuesday-ish of the upcoming week. And Strength is another major arcana card. And I believe we got Strength, I think it was in last week's reading or maybe the week before. I'll have to go back and look. But I think we recently got this card. So Strength. Now we see a woman, we see a lion. Both of their faces, like both of them are looking directly at us. This is interesting to me. It's almost like the two figures in this card, the woman and the lion, are kind of challenging us in a way. They're looking directly at us. They're not looking to the side. They're not looking up or looking down. They don't have their eyes closed. They're looking right at us. And they're kind of like saying, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, what are you going to do this week? What, you know, what's your plan? What are you going to bring to the table this week? They seem to be really kind of imploring you, saying, you know, how are you going to step up to the plate this week? I'm also drawn by their facial expressions are kind of calm and relaxed. But I'm trying to read into their expression to think, well, what are they feeling? What are they thinking? What's the mood? And I'm kind of coming up blank in a way. And the message I get here is that there is real power and strength in this kind of state of being where you're just sort of calm, but you're present. You aren't necessarily expressing any emotion. Maybe you're not even feeling any particular emotion, but you're just being calm and present and there. There is real strength in that. When you see someone who's like that, who is just fully present, they're paying attention, their eyes are wide open, they're looking at you, their mind isn't somewhere else, they're not distracted, they're not looking at their phone or something else, they're just there. They're like solid, present, right in the moment. And they aren't being taken on a ride by their emotions. They're just fully present. There is something very powerful about that. And I feel like this card is reminding you of the power of being present and the kind of strength and assertiveness that can come from just being present in the moment. Now, the strength card can also come up to say, at the beginning of the week, this is a good time for you to be assertive when you need to be, and to know that you can be kind and assertive. You can be assertive and loving. You can be assertive and gentle. And boundaries don't have to be dividers. Like, boundaries aren't necessarily these things that keep others out or that cut people off. Boundaries can be like containers. So you wouldn't necessarily think of a cup or a bowl as being a boundary, but it is. And when you have that boundary of that cup or that bowl, it can hold things, it can contain things, it can hold a space. And so I feel like some of us might need to just kind of reframe how we look at boundaries and being assertive so that we can do it with ease this week. And we don't have to feel any sense of guilt or uneasiness in being assertive with others and setting those boundaries. Okay, we have another major arcana card. Wouldn't that be cool if the third card was a major arcana card? Okay, so second card we have Justice. And you know what? I like this Justice. Now, I feel like we had Justice very recently as well, because I know Justice is a card that I really struggle to read, but I really like this version of Justice. It's just a close-up face. Okay, so middle of the week, I'm thinking kind of Wednesday, Thursday-ish. Here we have Justice, who's speaking to us about our midweek, the midweek section of the week. And she's also looking directly at us, just like the two figures in Strength. We only see one of her eyes, though, so she has one eye that's looking right at us. And she also has the exact same facial expression as the lion and the woman in Strength. She's not giving anything away. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what she's feeling. It's kind of driving me crazy. I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you trying to tell us? And Justice, Lady Justice, has the gift of discernment. So she can look at a situation or a person and she can assess it, and she can see through all the illusions that get created. So she is not swayed by emotion or sentimentality or tricks or illusions. She just looks at the facts and she looks at how something is, and she can really discern, what is, what's important, what isn't. What's true, what isn't, and what needs to be done. She's a very, I guess you'd call her kind of a straight shooter in a way, but she's very discerning and she has this real sense of clarity, and she doesn't hesitate to do what needs to be done. So what does this card mean for us though, midweek? Middle of the week, it will serve you well to be like Lady Justice, to look at the facts, pay attention to the facts. Don't get distracted by what you want to see. Look at things as they are, not how you wish they were. And when you're, with relationships and interacting with people, really see the person in front of you, not what you want to see, not how you wish this person was, but how they really are. And really practice good judgment. Justice mets out judgments, and she mets out justice. So midweek is a time to be discerning, but also to be fair and to look at things as clearly as you can. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so for the end of the week, so I'm thinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish, we have the Queen of Pentacles. And thank God she's not staring at us directly. She's looking down. She's busy doing something. And it looks like she's opening a trap door. This is actually really interesting. She's like opening a trap door on the ground, and she's pulling up this pentacle that has roots all kind of around it. Okay, so some things that strike me with the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles she's a very grounded character. She's very down to earth. She's very earthy. She's very sensible and practical. Very much like Lady Justice, in fact. And so I feel like this is a good week to really lean into your sensible and practical sides. Sometimes it's fun to be up in the clouds and to be a daydreamer and to be creative or to be really heart-centered. But this week, it's important, I think, to be realistic, to be grounded, to be down to earth, and to be sensible. So some other things that come to mind as I look at this Queen of Pentacles, she's bringing something up from the earth. And that's interesting to me. That trapdoor is interesting. It's like she's opening the trapdoor in the earth and bringing something up. And it makes me think of your particular gifts, your skills, your talents, your abilities that you have that are, I want to say, like your foundation. These are like foundational gifts, foundational abilities that you don't always utilize. They're always there under the surface, but you don't always acknowledge them. You don't always intentionally try to bring them forward or to tap into them. And the message I get here with the Queen of Pentacles is that you have innate abilities. You have an innate skill set. That is like a skill set that you came into this life with. It isn't necessarily something that you've picked up recently. This is something that you have as a natural kind of skill set. And those are the skills that are really going to serve you well on the weekend. I also feel like this weekend is a really good time to pay attention to the earthly things, like taking care of your body, good nutrition, getting enough exercise, getting outside for some fresh air, taking care of your finances, balancing your books, cleaning your home, just kind of like looking after the physical realm in your life, paying attention to the physical stuff. And it feels like if you nurture that physical stuff, like if you spend a bit of time tidying your living space, making yourself a healthy meal, maybe getting out for a walk, all the other areas of your life, like your mental mindset, your feelings, your heart, your emotions, your creativity, your relationships, your spiritual connection, all of that is supported by first supporting your physical realm. Okay. I've been rambling for a long time now, so let's zoom out, and I'm just going to see how the star fits in here. To me, what's really interesting about the star, and actually I'll just make some more room here. What's really interesting to me about the star is that I see the star as this real spiritual card of spiritual connection, finding your spark. And then that was followed by 3 cards that were all very practical. Strength is telling you, it's okay to be assertive. It's really good. It's going to serve you to have good, healthy boundaries this week. That might actually be something to do at the beginning of the week. Check in with yourself about, your boundaries and how you feel about being assertive this week. And then Lady Justice is saying, be discerning, practice good judgment, see things as they are, not how you want to see them. And then the Queen of Pentacles is following it up by, she's not just telling you you have these innate abilities and gifts, but she's saying, be practical this week. Take care of the physical stuff. Pay attention to your physical realm. And so I think that's interesting that we started with this really spiritual card of yearning and reaching for something. But the way to find that spark and that aliveness and that spiritual connection is not through uprooting yourself and ungrounding yourself and floating amongst the stars. It's actually through paying attention to your boundaries, paying attention to making good judgments, paying attention to taking care of your physical realm. So I think that's interesting that we do have this connection between those things. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you have any insights or things you want to add or observations, feel free to do so in the comment section. And check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below. I've got lots of fun tarot learning resources for you to check out. So make sure you check things out. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.